Huh. You actually can. Well, I'm not saying... I wasn't exactly sure you'd come, because at the end of the day, what I did last time was talk about the travesty of World War I and the potential interest of commercial space travel, so it's not the most traditional opening, you know? Well, perhaps it did serve me well. Anyway. A weekly chat. Oh, yes. Interesting proposition. I don't even know if this is a date. You neither? Well, handy. So what should our discussion topic be? Presumably not as... Let's see, what about music? Well, okay, how about... I'm going to ask you musical questions. Okay? I don't know if I can get this. Musical questions. Like, let's say... Who's the best guitarist in the world today? That's a good one. I have an answer, yeah. I mean, one of the things is this isn't... It's a question that in some ways is more relevant at different parts of Western music history. So, for example, you know, when Hendrix is at his peak, or most of the time when Clapton's around, or B.B. King is doing his thing. You know, there's various times when it's kind of obvious to, I think, most people, but are certainly, you know, the reputed best in the world, that sort of thing. The one that I think most people would generally agree is incredibly good. There's always going to be people with different tastes and that kind of thing. I will say that I have a favourite now of the people, because the other thing is, like, sure, you could say that Eric Clapton now is maybe the best guitarist in the world, but it's more like the new wave. Who's the new person who's really pushing guitar forward, you know? Doing new things that no one's done before, carving a whole new niche and a whole new idea. And thinking about it that way, I've actually got 3 people who I could put forward personally who I think are excellent. But I think it's hard to argue against Tim Henson being number 1. I really do. Math rock, you know, what Polyphia do. It's the new frontier for guitar, it really is. And I kind of think that it's very easy for people who liked rock back then to say, oh, there's no good music now. It's okay, just because the radio isn't playing it, does that define good music? Did it ever? No. So, okay, you gotta go and find stuff for yourself now. You don't get it spoon-fed to you. What a disaster. All you've got is the entire internet to let you find stuff you like. If you can't be bothered doing it, then I kind of don't think you're that much of a music fan, are you? I mean, of all my tastes, whatever it is I want to find, if you look long enough and hard enough, you'll find it. So, go look. But yeah, just saying, it was better back then is kind of... It's so lazy, you know. So what bands do you like? Well, I can't say they're my favorite, but, you know, not bad. Most guys pretend to like the bands you like. Yeah, I'm not most guys. I don't know if you hadn't noticed or something, but... Again, remember how last week went? I don't know why you'd think I was most guys. Do you even want me to be most guys? Are most guys that high of a bar? Or even, I mean, okay, so if I go away from math rock, let's say, admittedly it's a little while ago now, but Rise Against still a hell of a peak for me. California punk. Or you could go somewhere like progressive metal, Dream Theater. Dream Theater, great. You know, there's a lot of really cool bands out there if you only care to look. Yes, I know I just named 2 relatively older bands at this point. I don't really care. The whole point is that most of your rock used to be good people haven't heard of either of those bands, or of Polyphia, or of Covet, or of anything. Whatever else they like, they'll find something that's being made today that they'll like, but they can't be bothered looking, and that's the bit that kind of makes me laugh. Mainstream isn't pushing it, therefore it doesn't exist. Uh-huh. Why isn't mainstream pushing it? Doesn't sell. It doesn't. What does sell? Well, I mean, pop music and, let's be honest, fairly mindless rap music. The reason I specify mindless rap music is it's not like there isn't, you know, lyrical, interesting, artistic, intelligent rap music being made. It's just that the mainstream media, unless it's literally Kendrick, would rather push guys who seem to be drooling into a microphone. I don't know. Don't ask me why, but the other thing that's worth noting, right, is, and this is the thing with musical golden periods, there's only so many melodies, so many songs, so many styles. Like, if you're using the same chords, the same progressions, the same even themes to sing about, all that kind of stuff, then there's only so many good songs, right? And at some point it's going to be, you know, the well's running a little bit dry. That's how it is for artists, and then for a genre as a whole. If you're trying to stay on the same style all the time, you'll run out of stuff to do. You notice good artists, they will reinvent themselves. Why are you grinning at me like that? Enjoying the conversation. Ah, yes. That's the only reason why, right? Yeah, couldn't possibly be anything else. Yeah, well, I'm assuming I have smiling eyes right now because I may be new in town, but I'm not an idiot, you know? I understand how I'm being looked at right now. And I have no problem, as you can see, matching your gaze. So my question is, what are you going to do about it? Oh, I am awfully confident. It's the thing about talking to a lot of random strangers. Not a lot of random strangers, I suppose, but enough to kind of test theorems, I guess. Between observation and actually testing out things, I come to understand a lot about how people actually react, what they actually like. I said ridiculously contrived film scenarios and stuff like that. Like, put a normal person who's got 1,000 things on their mind, put them in a social situation, their basic reaction is going to be their actual reaction, you know? At the end of the day, sure, we can be complex creatures of 100% of our efforts going into something. But right now, you're not just listening to me, you're thinking about things that have happened in your day, you're thinking about tomorrow, you're thinking about how much you want to go to sleep or how much you want to stay awake, you're thinking about a random moment that happened 10 years ago, you're thinking about a whole lot of different stuff. So, let's call it free relaxation therapy. If I just say to you while looking straight at you that all you need to do for the next few minutes is just listen to my voice and smile exactly the way you're smiling, because we both know exactly what's happening, it can be a nice, easy, natural moment in life, don't you think? Why, thank you. I too like to think I'm good. Anyway, shall we get another drink? The night is still young, although you might be running out of time. I mean, usually I would charge for this much talking in a weekly meeting, you know? Well, as your resident psychiatrist. Wait, psychologist. The one that can't prescribe drugs, but just talks to you a bunch. Oh, I think this is very therapeutic for you. Whether you maybe want to think of it that way or not, it's up to you, but... let me put it this way. I think I know exactly what I'm doing for you. And I think it's a very welcome distraction. And by the way, I want some goddamn credit for my flirty voice. Because I think it's very well developed at this point. Something I've gotten better at. Wouldn't you agree? Well, I suppose you don't have the before to the rather well done after. I don't say magnificent, that's a little bit too bumptious. Anyway, drink up, for time is short. Or, because I simply want to get the next round, then